we looked at different parts of the country and felt that different parts of the country are going to have to make different kinds of sacrifices. So I was at the NDP convention in Edmonton where we were talking about pipelines, and pipelines was the first thing that we wrote down. People are opposed to pipelines, but one of the overarching themes of our discussion, it applies to pipelines, it applies to retrofitting, it applies to a lot of the things that we talked about, is that these things cost money, there's a cost involved in it, and somehow if we're going to propose these kinds of changes in our behavior, in our consumption patterns, that we need to make sure that people understand how we're going to get there, and are going to understand that the alternatives cost money, but doing nothing costs money as well. So there is a cost attached to what we're doing right now. And so that's one way of selling it, saying that, it costs no matter what we do. So let's go for the change that's going to end up putting us in a better place. We talked about, of course, renewable resources, public transit. Ken Stone at our table attended the World Social Forum, and the CLC gave a presentation there based on the theme was the 1 million green jobs, saying that if we transition to sustainable development and renewable energy, that we can actually create jobs. So again, there's a selling point. If we're going to propose drastic changes, radical changes, people have to know that there's a way for us to get there. So that third question was really important. Taking corporate influence away from environmental legislation decisions would be a good idea. We need a government program to retool factories so that instead of making cars with combustion engines, we're making cars with electric engines or whatever. And we're not just making cars, by the way, we're making buses, we're making trains, so we can create jobs using green energy. What else did we have here? So on the question of, what do we do to transition and deal with the consequences of climate change, we have to improve our sewage and draining, and there are probably people in the room who have experienced flooding, so they know, the costs of the kind of summer that we've had and the costs of the more drastic changes in the weather that we've had. We have to do something to ensure that our current systems can handle it. We know that the weather has an impact on infrastructure. Am I done?
Yeah, just wrap it up.
Okay, so just to wrap it up, as I say, the marketing of this is going to be really important. How we tell people that we're going to be able to afford it and that it's workable. A lot of the things that we talk about are being done already. And then finally, the idea that doing nothing has a huge cost attached to it as well. So it's not like if you do nothing, then you don't have to pay anything. That's how we end it. Thank you.